Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everybody out there. Jason here, Signature Sports, and a pleasure just to have you here live and in charge for a little Sunday night NASCAR, eNASCAR series. We're back from the holidays, and hopefully you all had a phenomenal holiday season. It's kind of it's a new year, and it's a new everything. Everything's changing, everything's going great, and that you're seeing it's going to go great. Well, the 02 Cup Series back in action here for, they call it the Golden 55. That's what we're going to call it. So we're going to have some fun with that. Sonoma Raceway here for the 2-miler. It is the NASCAR circuit on iRacing, the platform for sim racing. Week 6 in the series are going to be 1.96 miles in length, 55 laps, 70% fuel. Should see a couple of green flag pit stops here. 2 green white checkers, two fast repairs. I don't think they're going to need the green white checkers unless something catastrophic happens in the. I think everything else is localized. So caution should be localized, so we shouldn't see them rack them, stack them, reset them, and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. This is the historic Cup configuration for Sonoma Raceway. Drivers out there qualifying gonna have to put a lot into this racetrack. A lot of turns, a lot of elevation change. Sonoma's just to me, Sonoma's an iconic racetrack for the road circuit, but it's definitely, I think it's a ton of fun to drive. Just because of how many different elevations. It's a challenging track, and it makes for some good racing. We've watched several leagues, run Sonoma, and it's been a ton of fun. BG Graphics giving you race information today for the Next Gen Series, Leaf Guard, and then of course Out of the Woods Crafts out there. This series is sponsored by Riptide Radio. It's a free download that you can go check out. Go to your Google browser, type in Riptide Radio, and that is something you can put on your phone, you can put on your computer, you can play it in your business, you can do what you got to do, because Riptide Radio has some great music, especially if you are into the jazzy blues, kind of salty sea air, like that kind of music, that feel that you get whenever you go to a Jimmy Buffett concert. That's what you're going to be, kind of music you're going to be listening to. So, Sonoma is profound when it comes to this racing surface. So, if you have not been to a Sonoma race course, I encourage you to do it. 12 turns on the track. Right now, we're right here with Johnny Barker. He's coming around turn 12 as we speak. So we'll got to follow along with a few of these drivers and see what they've got. So turn 12 is the right-hander. I'm sorry, the left-hander that goes across the start-finish line. It's going to be a uphill left-hander right here, very tight. You got to hug the inside wall. Turn 1 always embellishes the right-hander into turn 2. It flattens out, goes steep uphill climbs, flattens out, and goes into a little downhill section into turn 3, which is the left-hander right here. Kind of a little straight segment, but it flattens back out and gets back into where turn 4 is going to be. Turn 4 is kind of this little dog leg, and they call the chute 4A right here on the right-hander. Kind of has a little bit of an S curve. Turn 7 is the braking zone up into 7A, where it's going to be a right-hander, sharp right-hander. Takes back 118 degrees. A few S curves here as they set up for turn 8, which is going to be the dog leg to the left. 8A is going to be the dog leg back to the right. Turn 9 is a long straightaway. Probably the fastest section of the racetrack. And then you have turn 10, which is basically a slight dogleg right-hander all the way down to the braking zone for turn 11, one of the most iconic places that you're going to see a lot of people have some good battles, and then back to turn 12 as they get through qualifying. Great racetrack. Love to see it. And we're going to see some of the road ringers get out here and have some fun. Tire saving is going to be difficult here, especially when it comes to as the track gets the sun beaten down on it. On the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see the humidity, but the track temperature at 112 degrees Fahrenheit here in Sonoma. The California race course is absolutely it's blistering when it comes to what these drivers are going to do. Starting grade here for today's race is going to look as such. Jacob Carter gets the pole today with a 1:16.511. Dalton Powell, the outside pole sitter, just about a half second slower. Michael Caffrey is going to be inside row number 2 with Johnny Barker to the outside of him, and that Wolfpack Racing race car. John Ross is going to be in row number 3 with Steve Ritter. David Lamaga back in the mix with AJ Cawthon to his outside. David Farrell is going to have Christian Delgado in row number 5 to his outside 31, looking pretty darn snazzy. Some of the drivers just getting out there, just trying to qualify, get some practice laps in before they go. Get ready to go green flag racing here. Brandon Guerin's going to have Frank Zingen into his outside, to his outside in row number 6. Row 7 will be Chris Campbell and Nate Cotilla. Row 8 will be Jeff Barefoot, Josh Small. Raby Caton's going to have Aaron Bradford to his outside with Kenny Reel, Rob Lowell there in row number 10. Christopher Pindell's going to have Brian Huntley Jr. there in row 11, and Jason Wiley taking up the tail end of the field for the starting grid. Thank you to the 802 Cup Series for being on board here with Signature Esports. Thank you to each and every one of you for being out there. We're going to try to make this as interesting as possible, of course. We want to make sure everybody has a good time and enjoy Sonoma Raceway. Road course racing, this is a good field for a NASCAR road course field, because quite often we see a lot of people like, I'm just not going to run the road course. I'm not a big fan of it, However, I still think that this race course is deserving of a good field. We have a good field tonight, so we love to hear it. Love to see it. NASCAR has ran this version of it from 1998 to 2018. I would love to see Sonoma part of the circuit again, and I know that the Indy Road Course has been dealing with dealt a strong hand last year, and I'm excited to see that we go back to the Indy Oval. But Sonoma, I think, is synonymous with the NASCAR circuit and what the drivers are going to be looking at having. This is a racetrack. This is a racetrack that takes no prisoners, and we'll see if Jacob Carter here in the D-Class 258 drive. A lot of people, when it comes to league racing, some of them only get out here and they only run this road course stuff. So, which, hey, that's what it's all about. It's what we like to see. So, at least I do. I got a new follower out there, or a new subscriber out there on YouTube. Thank you so much to everybody out there for watching. Much love to you. Hopefully you're going to enjoy tonight's race. We will go to our lap review. We're going to make sure that we continue to put iRacing as our Facebook stream here. Sonoma's a good racetrack. It is. I think it is. Similar to like Watkins Glen. I'm a fan of Watkins Glen as well. So we'll see if these drivers are going to be able to hold on to that. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Sonoma Raceway here for the 802 Cup Series. We're going to have lap 1 beginning here in just a moment. The Golden 55 here for Riptide Radio, giving you all the smooth sounds. One of the things that I wanted to talk about Riptide Radio, we played the Riptide because of where we live here in the Lake of the Ozarks. We're very water related, so we actually play Riptide in the morning portion of our day to catch up what's going on the East Coast. 54 on the outside, 51 on the inside. Drivers are ready. Restart zone going. Pitter patter, let's get at her. As they will go. Here comes the restart zone right here. Start finish line is right about green flag. Lap 1 underway. Three cars in today's field as drivers look to work out. Carter out front. Powell's going to be in second. Braking zones. You can run fast laps here, but one of the big things about fast laps is that they will only matter when it comes to what happens with your tires a little bit later on as we see the drivers get through that turn 2, turn 3 section. Cawthon's going to be back here in that 25. We'll be seeing that Lincoln Electric driver dig into the corner. See where the passing zones are going to happen. Kenny Reel hard on the brakes here, back here with Arabia Caton. These drivers a little bit of an off track. There's Kenny Reel, Arabia getting into the groove. Now this is a long race for 55 laps, a lot of turns, fast lap times though. So you're going to see about an hour's worth of racing, not including pit stops, and we'll have to see who's going to have that long run range and that long run fuel cycle. Try not to push it too hard. These cars are very much synonymous when it comes to just how much this racetrack will have to break in. 54 takes a round turn. Number 11, turn 12 coming up. First lap led. Jacob Carter in the Toyota Chevys bring up second and third as Michael Caffrey is a driver that I would absolutely see having a good day at Sonoma Raceway. Aaron Bradford having an issue. He is off on the side driving, of course, that 45, a little Ty Gibbs action, 30 braking for him. Dave Ferrella coming to pit road. Some of the drivers maybe capitalizing, maybe on a quick pit stop here. Johnny Barker trying to get to the back bumper of Michael Caffrey there. We saw the braking zone happen. Caffrey's going to be very much a threat here. Nate Cotilla is going to be off track. We're going to see a couple of drivers just kind of push their boundaries where they can. Nate Cotilla gets the off track. He's going to have and one thing about Nate, if you've watched what Nate's been doing, Nate's been absolutely blistering fast on the race course. But of course, Nate, when we get our driver cams back up next week, you'll be able to see exactly why this is impressive as well. Because my man is one of the cool cats that you're going to see out there. Jacob Carter blinking right for me right here, so I have to switch to Dalton Powell. Dalton Powell there on the backside. See the 54 running the race course here. Going to be out front. He had a little bit of a blink there, but all good things must go into this one. It's right on board. Little gyro cam for. Well, actually, I take that back. Dalton Powell just ran the fastest lap of the race, so we'll see if he's going to be able to make any ground up here. Dashboard for the drivers, 3 of 55 being completed. Third gear for the driver. You got to kind of ease into the gas and get yourself back into that full kind of. It's kind of an interesting groove that these drivers are following. And one thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to be pushing more early if you think your tires are not going to be warmed up. This is a very spicy racetrack, and it definitely wears the tires pretty quickly, especially with the amount of elevation that you're going to see. There's Dalton Powell on the bottom right of your screen. It kind of darkened those boxes up a little bit, so it was going to make it easier to see. Also changed, of course, the colors of the tower on the left-hand side. I kind of like this version, not just for the Oval Series, but also for what we've been able to watch over the course of a couple of last, about the last year. I'm still waiting for the new, when SDK gets the NASCAR update or updates the ticker, we'll, or the timing tower to something a little bit more updated, then we'll definitely try to find ourselves a chance to have something like that a little bit later. Let's go back in the back. Here's Brandon Guerin. He's about 2.7 off of Christian Delgado. Delgado just ran a 1:18.95. Some of the drivers still trying to find their groove, get a little faster each race. There is Christian Delgado about 1.4 off of the pace. A little off track for him there. A little left front damage for the Ford of the 31 in that 40s. Right where he started, though. Frank's engine in the 62 up 3. Biggest mover of the race is going to be Christopher Pindell here in the 94. Tracking down Jeff Barefoot in that Ford. Little iRacing battles going on there for all the drivers. Take a look at possibly. I was going to take a look at the speed. It's the top speed here. 137 miles an hour. That's pretty darn cool. Yeah, that'll be all right. 94 is going to be there to the inside of. Try to get to the 9. Jacob Carter just ran a 1:17.27. Brendan Guerin just had an off track in that number 4 car, but he's doing just fine. He's got about a 4.2 second difference here. And some of the, like I said, some of the drivers are going to be trying to get a little bit more out of their cars a little earlier. We've got Aaron Bradford. He's having an issue again here. Let's see what he's doing. He's got a broken toe link here. Not going to be. He's going to have to drive all the way around this racetrack just to get himself to pit road. Look at that left front. That left front is broken, and this is where those tires can fall off. So hopefully he's going to be able to get himself around. Oh, at this particular point. Did it fix it? No, it's locked up the left front now. So hopefully he'll be able to get that tire fixed and get it changed. They do have a fast repair, so that will definitely have to do something with those tires. He can't turn to the right because of the left front being broken like that. An interesting take, and that's it's unfortunate for him. Dalton Powell just ran his fastest lap of the race, a 1:16.83, and has figured something out here. Is Jacob Carter. His fastest lap is about 0.3 of a second faster than Jacob Carter right now, so the battle for second heats up. But Michael Caffrey getting into the groove just ran a 1:17.16, which is just as fast as Jacob Carter. So that 3.3 second difference here is going to change when it comes to where Caffrey's going to finish. Johnny Barker sits fourth as John Ross tries to close down the distance here as well. So drivers doing a decent job as the top five go to work. And as the top five do, we're 6 of 55. Carter out front. Points for the series, I wanted to touch on those. It'll be somewhere on this side over here. We'll talk about the rookie points because Adelaide Crafts sponsors the rookie standings. John Ross leads those that point standing right now. AJ Cawthon second in that standing. Just a few points off that bracket, but not too bad. And then Nate Cotilla is going to be third in the standings. Brian Huntley Jr. Of course, with his win, able to get that fourth spot. And has been able to put a decent race line in to be able to get himself out there and challenge for some great points, and going to be insane to see. Brian Huntley Jr. had to stop all of a sudden. Rob Lowell did so as well, but Rob doing a decent job trying to track down Jason Wiley here. Brian Huntley Jr. up 5. Biggest mover of the race now, still Christopher Pindell. He's going to be up 7 as the track goes to work. And as they go to work, we'll take a big special thank you to BG Graphics. Make sure you check out Brandon Garrett. He is one of those guys that gets out there and does a lot. There's a Discord. There should be a link in the description, but there's also the Discord link here for these drivers that we'll put up after the race is over for the 802 Cup Series. So you get a hold of Brandon and get some of those graphics taken care of. He does a pretty dang bang up job knocking it out of the park. 7 of 55. You think about the actual pit cycle for most of these drivers, and through the gears, they're going to run a lot less laps. So it'll be somewhere between 18 to 24 on the cycle. I do believe that's what my calculator says. Doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen, but that means it can happen. Michael Caffrey is actually closing in the distance here. My Perth Australian friend giving a good look at where this racetrack is going as they come around into I think that's turn 9 right there. So, but I forgot to do this earlier. There's the logos for today's race. I was going to put up the track map. I want to make sure that it's not going to interfere. It is going to interfere. So we'll keep the logos up. We'll leave the track map kind of alone right now. We'll just kind of go through what we have going on with the drivers. Actually, I could probably take that, and move it down. Let's see. Where's those logos? That's the logo 2, logo top. Let's we're gonna try to move it down a little bit here. Let's see. Will that do it? Apply. That'll still put it right there. And apply. How about we move the track map? That'll probably be easier, folks. Do apologize about the thingamajigger here that I'm trying to do all at the same time. I don't like to edit while I'm doing this, but occasionally you just kind of have to do what's right and make sure that you guys can see what's going on. But we changed that to 400 pixels down from the top, and let's show that track map. See if that's going to show up for you. Here's position, actually car number. Here you go. There it is. That'll work. That'll do it. Right now we're on to 66, and you're going to see 7, 8, and 9 coming up. Turn 10 is the right-hander, and this is your third place car. He is catching the top 2 pretty profusely right now. Carter just ran a 17:01. That's his fastest lap. Dalton Powell is 17:04. Caffrey a little bit slower this last lap, but I wouldn't count him out. He is everything and consistent all at the same time when it comes to the NASCAR circuit. This is turn 11 that you're going to see here. Turn 12 is the left-hander that goes back up. You see how close that Caffrey gets to the wall there, and then he sets up the inside lane on that turn as he crosses the start-finish line. Puts himself right there in the momentum to get into the uphill sector. Turn 2 is going to be the right-hander here. Now, some of these drivers are going to start seeing some of the lap traffic that you normally wouldn't see on this early, but it does happen. So we're going to see Aaron Bradford jump to pit road. He is in pit lane. Had to take that tow, so we'll see what's going to happen with that driver. Dave Ferrella bringing up the tail end of the field off 13, but he'll be able to make some things happen. You see some of the drivers locking up brakes. Josh Small just locked up his brakes right there, but he's sitting off 5 and 21st. Arabia Caton's off 3 from the start of the race, but he's moving forward. Rob Lowe is going to be up 1. We've seen Rob do really well on road courses in the past, especially tracks like Watkins Glen and some of those other road circuits that you wouldn't necessarily think that some of these guys like road course racing. Rob's been pretty darn good at it. Jason Wiley up 5. He sits in 18th, starting at 23rd spot, dead last, but ready to go for the Mission 22 Stripper Glitter driver. Whoa, 19. Brian Huntley Jr. He's going to go back a couple of spots there. He locks it up, coming up, and I think some of the change here is what's been cool. Matt, thank you for the like, sir. I appreciate you. That's the 19 right there. Jason Wiley up on the high side. There's Rob Lowell up 2. We'll see if the 19 is going to be able to make that pass. Rob up near the wall here. Battle for 18th. They both lock up the brakes. You can hear the tires skid, and you can see the fronts of the tires kind of lock up whenever they get into the corner. That's just track temperatures and hot brakes glowing. Which you will see if the brake bias isn't set correctly. So Brian Huntley Jr. is going to be off, going to be up 4, started 22nd. Jason Wiley now to 17th, up 6. Going to catch up to Nate Cotillas, about 4.8 seconds ahead of him. The number 5 car is going to be off 2 from the start of the race. He's tracking down Kenny Reel, who's got about a 2-second advantage to him. Jeff Barefoot up 1 here in that 14th spot as Kenny Reel trying to track him down. Pindell's going to be up 8 here in the 94. Good looking race line for him so far. So he pushed a little boundary, push a little wheel hop there. That's a really nice looking wheel hop for the 94. Sometimes wheel hops will help you turn. Sometimes they will make you go straight. Kind of depends on how you take it. So we'll see. We'll see how this one's going to work. Let's follow along with this as Christopher Campbell's going to be up 1 in that Toyota. A little Piggly Wiggly Toyota action here. I do like that paint scheme. It's very bright. It's very, very entertaining, and good little paint scheme to see. I do like the Gatorade 94. 94 rolls the inside. 68 is going to make that pass on the braking zone here down into turn 11. Edges out to be able to make the entrance where he needs to. Wants to be close to where the blue and yellow rumble strip areas, or that turtle area. Chris, thank you for the like, sir. So we'll see where they finish up here. Up 9 spots, and Chris has got some work to do. Brian Huntley Jr. having some off tracks back here. We'll see Brandon Guerin here in the number 4 car, right where he started in 11th. Kristen Delgado is going to be in 10th, where he started as well. Frank is up 3 in the 62. I like his car. It's a congenital heart defect, number 62 in that Chevy. Love to see what he's able to do here. 13 of 55. There's the track map with a couple of the logos isn't low enough, so I want to fix that one more time. We'll try to make that halfway down. I think halfway down is going to be good. I think that'll be just fine. Yeah, that should be better. That should be better for everybody. AJ Cawthon is going to... AJ Cawthon right here is going to be an 8th. He's up... he's right where he started. The B-Class 1301 Road Series driver here has that 25. Kind of rolling decently. Nothing big, nothing small, nothing hard pressed yet. Steve Ritter's going to be off 1. He and David Lamaga have been going back and forth a little bit here, but these two drivers sitting in 6th and 7th, respectively. John Ross in 5th. TJ, thank you for the like, sir. John Ross in 5th in that 44. Puts a little more oomph into his race car on the corner. You see, he is tracking down Johnny Barker here. His last lap about 0.2 of a second faster, and he's closed in about a second here. Everybody has their different zones that they're good at. And this is kind of where you have to kind of make up your mind if you're gonna push early and try to be able to gain some ground, then that's a good thing for road course racers. But what we have seen now is how Jacob Carter ran earlier. Didn't run his fastest lap until this last lap. He ran a 1:16.94 the lap prior. And Johnny Barker, who's actually running about about 0.4 of a second faster than Michael Caffrey this time. Mike is doing a decent job, but I think he had a little bit of lap traffic right there in front of him, so it slowed down his last lap. And that's part of what we're seeing here, a little bit of lap traffic, giving a little bit of distance here, and we're seeing just what these drivers are going to be able to do. Caffrey in 3rd, right where he started. Dalton Powell in 2nd, right where he started. And right now the lap traffic kind of getting in the way of Jacob Carter as Jason Wiley will go to the inside braking zone. Nate Cotil is going to be right there in front of him. Dalton Powell will be able to try to close down. We'll see just what this driver can do. Can he get to the outside of the 13 here and have the braking zone? He's right there, closed about half second down, and now with a little bit of lap traffic, you see Jacob Carter now starting to pull away just a little bit. Last time by, Dalton Powell unable to get that 1:17.7 mark that he needs to. Nate Cotil is going to be his teammate in front of him. 51 runs the high line, runs the higher outside. It's going to be into the corner. It's going to have the better entry. 1.8 second the difference now as Jacob Carter starts to close in. Jeff Barefoot's going to be the driver in front of him. Right where he started, first driver off the lead lap, looks to almost be looking to get to I don't know if he's going to give that race line away. Oh, locks up the tires. You see the smoke from the right front. And we'll get through the gears here as Jacob Carter sees Dalton Powell. Oh, 54 bumps the 9 here. Jacob Carter rolls the inside lane. That's 0.7 of a second difference here. As Dalton Powell will now try to get to the outside of the 9. Will find the braking zone. Barefoot now has a little bit of tow. Carter now behind the 24. Little wheel lock up there for the 24. As the 54 goes to work. Dalton Powell will go to the inside of the 9. 9 a little bit on the outside here. Cotila is in tow as well. Michael Caffrey able to clear himself, but you see a lot of lap traffic here. 19. Wheel spin out of turn 12. Catches the car. Does a bang up job of catching the car. So the battle for the lead. 1.4 seconds between Jacob Carter and Dalton Powell. Oh, Dalton Powell had to lock up the tires there as Kenny Reel goes off the racing surface. And almost into the 19. See what happened here for Kenny Reel. It was right here. Oh, the 24 braked right there. I think he might have just been free. I'm not quite sure. The 51 has the uphill advantage. So there's the 54. 54 goes around the 24. 54 a little free. 51 has the better drive off here. 54 goes to get to the outside. And then, the 21, I don't know if he was free or he braked there, but he gets a little bump from Dalton Powell there as drivers get into each other. 1/10 of a second here. 3 seconds the gap now as Dalton Powell's going to have to push it. That big checkup right there hurt the momentum that he was gaining this time by 1:18.75 for Jacob Carter. Dalton Powell 1:19.95. Sorry, 1:18.38 for Jacob Carter and a 1:19.95. Caffrey, faster of the drivers for a moment there. 1:20.98 now as they continue to push. About 6 seconds between he and Dalton Powell. What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Howdy, Budgie. How are you doing? Much love out there. I didn't see the chats. I was checking on chats just a moment ago, so thank you very much. I appreciate you very, 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 very much. Road course racing gets either good or it kind of gets good views. It kind of doesn't get views. You know, it just depends on what you see. You know, these things happen. But it doesn't matter. This is a good race. We got some good things happening. Brandon Guerin, the first driver off the lead lap, is kind of being caught by Jacob Carter right now. Carter coming around turn 12, and Brandon Guerin here in the number 4 car hitting turn 2 right now. So a little bit of speed difference, but nothing too atrocious. Frank is getting faster. He just ran a 1:18.34. That's his fastest lap of the race. Carter just ran a 1:17.04. Dalton Powell still dealing with a little bit of lap traffic. Needs the clean air that Jacob Carter is being handed to. We'll see what's going to happen here. The halfway mark of this race, around lap 28. We'll have to see if any of the drivers are going to three-pit this one, because that might be an option. 18 of 55. How much time can you make up? I mean, we're talking about the best lap for Jacob Carter's is 1:16.94. He just ran a 1:17.04. 5 seconds now, the difference between the two drivers. Guerin a little off track there as he gets into turn 11, locks the tires up, has some right front damage on the front of that car. Up 10 is Christopher Pindell. He's going to be in that 94 little Ford machine trying to catch up to Christian Delgado. Delgado into 31, rolling through the S's, getting through turn 8. Turn 9 is going to be the where he's going through right now. Turn 10 is going to be the right-hander he's getting ready to take. And then you're going to have that straightaway. He is right there behind Frank. Frank up 3. I think Cotila having an issue. He is, he gets planted by the 28. And he's going to hold his line here to flip that car back around. He gets up into the corner here, up into the corner. Brake. Gets into the corner, just gets to the outside and locks the tires up and tries to get going, and then just nowhere for the 28 to go. So that's not on the 28. They just locked the tires up in front of him. All good things. It's David Lamaga. He's going to be up 1. He has got no front bumper now, so he's going to be driving a very cool race car. All that air. Steve Ritter will be looking to get that position back. He's got a better car right now. Dalton Powell, 5.7 seconds. We'll have to think about what he's going to do toward the end of this race. There's Brandon Guerin in front of him. 51 out to the inside, he's going to try to make the pass in the 4. He's back into the throttle earlier. He's just meeting lap traffic in the wrong spots. Michael Caffrey now 2.8 back is looking at second, or trying to look at second. Good on the long run and doing a decent job at it. Jason Wiley getting around Jeff Barefoot. Barefoot had an issue and said he had an issue. Jacob Carter had an off track there and kind of slowed him up. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh, he did. He got his left sides right there on the exit. So, but didn't lose too much ground. 6 seconds the difference. Jacob Carter, he was able to get the tires cleaned off pretty decently there. You do pick up debris. It is dynamic. You do pick up debris on this racetrack. We'll take a look at the elevation change. You see all of that downhill slope. It's quite unique. Very much is quite unique for as synonymous as this race is. Yeah, I like it. Sonoma Raceway, originally known as Sears Point Raceway, Golden State International Raceway, and the Infineon Raceway is a road course and drag strip located at Sears Point in southern Sonoma Mountains in Sonoma County, California. Jacob Carter, blinked out again. Road course features 12 turns on a hilly course with 160 feet of total elevation change. It's 49 meters for those who are elsewhere in the world. Features 12 turns for this racetrack, and there's a whole lot to be said about this racetrack. It's a ton of fun to find. It is host to one of the few NASCAR Cup Series races each year that are run on road courses. It also played host to the Indy Series, the NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series, and several auto races, motorcycle races such as the American Federation of Motorcyclists Series. Sonoma always continues to host amateur and club racing events, with some open to the public. The largest such car club is the Sports Car Club of America. The track is 30 miles north of San Francisco and Oakland. Sonoma's a ton of fun. Great racetrack. Love the racetrack. Dalton Powell, 7 seconds now, and the gap between he and Michael Caffrey starting to close. Some of the drivers taking on the extra advantage that is the race course here. Thank you, Shano, for becoming a supporter out there on Signature Esports YouTube channel. You can become a member or supporter or subscriber on all of our platforms, which I love, which I think is awesome. Caffrey just ran his fastest lap of the race, 1:17:01. Starting to push a little bit more toward the end of this one. He is catching the race leader. About a second between he and 1.4 seconds between he and Jacob Carter. I'm sorry, he and Dalton Powell. Jacob Carter, currently your race leader, is a 7.1 second lead over Dalton Powell. 22:55. Rob Lowell coming to pit lane. 22:55. Anybody going to be repeating this? Or are they going to all try to save fuel and tires? We'll see. Jacob Carter going to come around. He's going to put a couple of drivers a lap down. He's got 11 on the lead lap right now. And he's only got about 5 or 6 of them that are faster than he is, right? But Jacob Carter, well, I take that back. This time by 1:16.99. Just ran a 1:17.38. Caffrey trying to get a little bit more of that ground caught back up. 1.8 second difference between he and Dalton Powell. Dalton Powell coming around here in second. 7.4 second difference here as Jacob Carter tries to navigate a little bit of traffic. Here is the 52 of Dave Farella. David Farella in 19th here. You see Jacob Carter making the pass on the outside. But a bad little line. Let's see Joshua Small closing back in to Dave Farella. This is all about that cool, calm, collective momentum. Love to see it. Love to see it all. Appreciate you. Thank you, Budgie, for being out there. Much love to you. Much love to all the fam. All right, I'm going to take a hydrate break. These drivers going at it. I'm going to let them have at it for a moment as Sonoma and the Golden 55 continues to roll. Ton of fun. Right back. Get barefoot off the track right there. You saw what happened. Caffrey had a similar thing happen to him that happened to Dalton Powell. Michael Caffrey had closed down a ton of time to Dalton Powell there and was right there nipping at his heels. Now has a 6 second slow up. Unfortunate circumstances. Let's go take a look and see what happened. We'll have to back up here as Michael Caffrey was right there on the inside. And the 9 kind of holding his lane. And Caffrey gets to the bottom side here. And the 9 just a little bit slower there and just a little tag as Michael Caffrey got himself in the mix. So we'll see Caffrey coming to pit road. He'll be the first of the takers. 27 of 55. He's going to have to run one lap longer. Dalton Powell, about 8.7 seconds the difference. Jacob Carter did run a 1:16.82 while I took a little bit of a vocal break there. So he ran the fastest lap of the race. If you want to see what your drivers are running, we'll take a look at what it is right here. Is your best time for the drivers. Carter 1:16.815. Dalton Powell 1:16.827. Oh, that's going to be your fastest laps of the race right now. Is Jason Wiley going to give up the race line to the 54? Johnny Barker goes to third now as some of the drivers work their way in and out of pit road. Michael Caffrey went ahead and came in and took his pit stop. Maybe a little fuel. Quite sure if he took tires or not. I don't know if you really need the tires. Jacob Carter is coming to pit road as these drivers go to work. Dalton Powell will come out and lead now as Jacob Carter goes to second on pit road. We'll see if he takes some tires here because that's going to be important information. Important information for me as well because I'd like to know what the drivers are doing. Tires, because quite often there's a lot that can happen with this race car that some drivers take tires, some drivers don't take tires, and I want to always make sure that the timing is correct out there. Jacob Carter went and took a full set. Any of the drivers decide that they're going to take maybe 2 sets of tires, not quite sure. So Dalton Powell is your race leader. Johnny Barker in second. Dave LaMaga is going to be in third, where he gets around Jacob Carter here. And Caffrey on the long haul was a lot faster than these drivers. So we'll see what's going to happen. Caffrey will have to run just about a lap longer. And right now, because he's starting to, he's actually pulling away from Jacob Carter. We'll see what happens. Dalton Powell's coming to pit road. He's got to. One thing about this pit entrance is it is dangerous. It really is. Getting into pit road, you see Johnny Barker backing the time down, and you see him how close he has to run to the wall. You can have just as much of an issue on that pit entrance as anybody else. David LaMaga will be coming around. I think he's going to go ahead and hit pit road. We'll see if he's going to be able to break down. Here's the nose. Here's what it looks like from their point of view. Coming down pit road, it's very narrow, and that speed is you have to almost be as impressive as you can get. Michael Caffrey comes around. Caffrey's going to be trying to lead here. Dalton Powell taking his pit stop will be leaving pit road as we speak. So Michael Caffrey will be in second. Dalton Powell takes over the lead. And Caffrey's going to be there on the inside. He's just carrying a lot more speed. Gets up into the wall. Caffrey will have to clean those tires off. The braking zone. He had the turn for Dalton Powell. Dalton Powell's going to lock the tires up here. Going to battle back here to the inside of the 54. New tires can do that. They're cold. They're sticky. They like to grip. Right now he's back chasing Jacob Carter. Dalton Powell made up a ton of time on his lap. And right now the lockup for the 54. Going to burn up that right front tire by locking it up. Caffrey off the racing surface just a moment ago will be going back to it. So we'll see what happens here as these drivers continue to work forward. Arabia Caton's going to be off the racing surface right now for the Golden 55, 29 of 55 being complete. Caffrey in third. Johnny Barker took his pit stop as well. We'll see what kind of lap times he's going to be able to turn here. As we see 12 drivers on the lead lap. Kenny Reel still needs to come to pit road. He's going to do so now as we see a lot of traffic there to the inside. Kenny Reel coming in. Going to be one of the first drivers on that longer haul. See if he's going to be able to do more with the tires than you think. So Jacob Carter trying to push a little bit harder here. Dalton Powell 1 second back. Carter trying to extend as you got to know that Dalton Powell has a little bit fresher tire. Oh, locks up. Oh, no. Nate Cotilla's going to be there. He did. He made a mistake there. Caffrey goes to the inside. He's going to take over second. Now the 51 who locked up the tires there on the corner, on the corner, maybe downshifted one too many. Going to be working it into the corner. Have to go back to work. Michael Caffrey 3.5 back. Jacob Carter can breathe a little bit here, 117.84. As Caffrey looks down the S's at him and says, you know, I've got a little bit of work to do, but I can still see you. 2.8 seconds, now 1.9. A little bit free for Carter. As you see that relative close, top left of your screen for that second place car. Johnny Barker having an issue. He went off track and had to stop. He's back rolling once again. Carter to the inside. Caffrey on the inside. There's the 94 of Pendell going to the outside up 10. Brian Huntley Jr. is going to be up 8. He's just picking drivers off a little bit at a time. Trying to get back to a couple of these other drivers. He came in on 28. Brandon Guerin came in on 26, so that's another driver he's trying to look at. Kenny Reel up 7. Going to do a little bit more each lap. Detail Customs, 25 laps to go. And here at Sonoma Raceway. Lap traffic. Caffrey is caught. Jacob Carter. Carter ran a 119.98 last lap. Caffrey consistently trying to make dividends here, make gains. Dalton Powell able to hold on to the car, got himself rolling back forward here, so he's doing a decent job of trying to keep those tires at bay, especially when it comes to getting off the track. That's just kind of a hard thing to try to manage. As the 54 hits the outside lane, so does Caffrey. Gets a little bit into the dirt there, 1.1 second difference. Makes it, if you get dirt on your tires here, it makes that debris tough to manage. Better entrance for Caffrey. He's going to be back through the gears here, but Carter able to pull away. Kenny Reel having an issue. He's off the track here. As he got around Brandon, but now has to go back to work. Nate Cotilla just ran his fastest lap of the race, 119.20. Brian Huntley Jr. coming back out. Took a little bit to get a fast repair there. I think he had to tow. The oval ringers. You got some road ringers out here as well. Caffrey had an issue. I missed that part. Let's take a look. Oh, he just got a little bit free into the uphill section. It's a little bit of left side damage. He's fine. It's just a small scrape, so just loses a little. And Dalton Powell trying to play catch up here. So the battle for second between Caffrey and Powell. John Ross closed it in as well. He and Johnny Barker having a decent day. Barker sits fifth in the series. John Ross rolling on in that 4 spot. About Steve Ritter here. He's right where he started. That 16 and that Leaf Guard 16 has been doing nothing but being as consistent as possible. Leaf Guard, of course, part of the 802 Cup Series here. A whole... How did he put that? I want to make sure I look at that because it was a cool thing to see. Go to YouTube, my comments. Go to my studio. Bear with me, folks. I want to always say what it actually is, so. into that car. I'm just looking it up. Leaf guard prevents water-related damage to your home. All gutters carry water away from your home, but only Leaf Guard does it with patented debris shedding design that is better than any other gutter guard on the market today. No other gutter system is designed to provide Leaf Guard's level of quality protection, eliminating the problems homeowners have and most worry about. And I was looking at the system. And this is exactly what I thought it was. It is a whole system that you can install. You can replace your guttering system with it. It has this cover that's over the top that allows water to roll in and makes the leaves and everything fall off. It doesn't have a screen that filters out all of that stuff. It literally has the has a roll-off. It looks like a roll-off. So if you go to leafguard.com, folks, you'll be able to check out what's going on with that. You see Steve Ritter running on that, or call 1-800-LEAF-GUARD, 1-800-LEAF-GUARD. Get a free estimate of what you've got going on. If you own your home, I encourage you to check it out. Everybody wants peace of mind on a lot of things. It can also help your insurance if you got insurance issues. If you got insurance, if you want to help try to lower your insurance costs and protect the value of your home, might be an option for you. I like it. And it's exactly what I thought it was. When I was talking about it before, I kind of worded it incorrectly, I guess, according to what they say. I don't ever try to offend anybody, but when I was talking about it, I talked about it being a system that has those, I thought had a screen on it, but didn't really have a screen. It has it's basically a whole gutter that they replace your gutters with, and it has and again, it has that lip on it, so it's pretty cool to see. But check it out. And check out what those fine folks are doing. John Ross is going to be in fourth here. Dalton Powell losing a little bit of ground here, but John just ran the fastest lap of the race, 1:16.67. I think he's figured something out. And if he's got 20 laps to do it, 20 laps to gain about 10 seconds. And if he's going to do that, he could do that. He's about 1.5 seconds faster than Jacob Carter right now. Kenny Reel sits in 12th. It's going to be up 7, trying to get one more spot out of Christopher Pendell. We came into today's race, and I wanted to check on the points for the 802 Cup Series. I know we talked about the Out of the Woods Crafts point season, but I want to take a look here for this season, the Riptide Radio Cup Series. Kenny Reel has 3 wins in the season and leads in points right now over Frank and John Ross. Frank is looks like 16 points behind Kenny Reel. John Ross is 23 points back. Brandon Guerin and Johnny Barker flirting in around that same mark, 24 points back from Kenny Reel is Brandon Guerin and Johnny Barker, 157. So Johnny Barker finishing 3 spots ahead of Kenny Reel would be huge, but especially 3 points ahead of Brandon Guerin, who sits 12th right now. That's 7 points to be gained on this racing surface. That's huge. 66-51, duking it out for a second. That's what you're seeing. So Kenny Reel having to stop back here. See some drivers side by side. 8.2 second lead here for Jacob Carter. Michael Caffrey still trying to play catch up. 1.7 second difference here as they break into the corner. Seeing John Ross close down the distance here to Dalton Powell. Johnny Barker is quite about 19 seconds between he and John Ross right now, but John Ross is right there on the back bumper of the 51. So Barker, who spent most of the race kind of just rolling in the back, runs about 2 seconds faster than the field in front of him. Last couple of times by, 51 rolls the corner, trying to have a better entrance in here. John Ross figuring this racetrack out late. Not doing too bad of a job here. Dalton Powell trying to slide up the race line here. About 2 seconds separate he and Michael Caffrey, but Caffrey through the uphill. We'll see Dalton Powell roll a little bit higher, utilizing more of the racetrack. The battle for second between 3 drivers here as John Ross closes in on both of them. $18 laps to go, and a lot of familiarity here. Johnny Barker still trying to find more pace out of his car, but ran a 1:17.21. He is a lot faster than pretty much everybody in front of him, including the race leader. So there's a lot to be said when it comes to late in a race and what these drivers can do. A lot of turns and a lot of back and forth. 55 laps is quite a long way around. We don't get to see a lot of these race cars. A lot of these racers have to turn 50 plus laps on a road course. And Jacob Carter just has to kind of be consistent. How about John Ross, fastest lap of the race, 16:60. 1:16.60. Dalton Powell just improved his lap to a 1:16.69. Dalton Powell trying to push a little bit of ahead here. We'll see if he's going to be able to get to the back bumper of Michael Caffrey. Dalton Powell, Michael Caffrey, John Ross, all sitting in this tone. Powell able to take the inside lane and have a good run here. 51, got to be smooth with the throttle inputs. These drivers closed in a little bit over the last couple of laps of Jacob Carter. Now Carter, as he gets into turn 11 here, runs wide on the outside. Caffrey and everybody closing in right now. Locks up the tires here as the 51 will be there to the outside. John Ross trying to go for the pass here. 51 will give up the race line to the 44. Some brakes were locking up there as the pressure increases. John Ross going to play catch up to Jacob Carter with 16 laps to go. Braking zone for all of them. 51 slides around turn 2. The downhill S's to turn 3 and 4. A little bit free for a lot of the drivers. Caffrey able to extend a little bit. He closes in. Jacob Carter closes down himself. He is lost a ton of ground. Caffrey getting faster here, 1:16.96. If it weren't for some bad lap traffic, these drivers would all be within each other, within a relative reason of each other. And they have some driver error here, but I wouldn't work that away from them. Oh, 66 goes around. Oh, 44 does so as well. Caffrey holding on to the brakes. Going to hit the grass and flip this one around here. Going backwards on the racetrack. Going to see where he's going. We'll have to go back to work. That was just a lockup. He was breaking into the zone. I don't know if he downshifted too early, but that's what happened. John Ross goes to second. Jacob Carter, his last lap, 1:18.20. John Ross ran a 1:17.68 and is catching Michael Caffrey. Now with a whole lot happening, it's going to need a whole lot of momentum to get going forward, and he can do it. Dalton Powell in third. Caffrey, the guy that I would have called a shoo-in for a top 3 today, just had a little bit of an issue. Just a little bit of an issue. All good, though. Carter, 8 seconds now, as John Ross closes in. '19 slows down for Carter there, lets his teammate go by. Carter just ran a 1:17.36. John Ross coming around. 1:17.74. Just hit that corner just a little bit differently. Michael Caffrey trying to close down. He's at 27.5 seconds now. He was 29 now, trying to work off some of that time once again in the uphill section. It's the tires on the dirt there. Little left side front damage, but he should be fine. 1:17.36 for Jacob Carter. 8.8 seconds now between he and it's sideways there. It's getting really sideways. Ross, good battle for second here. How about Dalton Powell? Back to third, only off one spot. Gets around Jeff Barefoot. Each one of the drivers just having a decent day. Go back to Christian Delgado here and Dave Lamaga. All within a striking distance of each other. There's a 1.2 second difference. You got a little right front damage for Dave Lamaga here, but not a bad little drive for him today. He's off 2, but there's still more to be gained. Delgado in the 31, running the track racer Ford Mustang, as Delgado looks at trying to catch up to AJ Cawthon in the 25. Cawthon's been doing his fastest lap time is 1:17.64, but he's been having about a 1:19 pace here as of late. 1:19.11 was his last lap. Steve Ritter 1:18.59, just ran at 1:18.06. Pendel just ran his fastest lap of the race, his last lap of the race, 1:18.62. Dave Lamaga working on it. Johnny Barker right there in front of that driver. We'll see how this is going to fan out. 7.5 seconds separate Jacob Carter and John Ross. Dalton Powell in third. 2.2 back from John Ross. Kenny Reel still out there. Brandon Guerin still out there running. Chris Campbell with a no-quit attitude. Off 1. Nate Cotilla is going to be off 1 as well. He's got Campbell in front of him. A. Ferrella still out there running. Having a good old day. Jason Wiley out of the race. Bradford's on pit road. Brian Huntley Jr. going to be up 5. Biggest move of the race still Pendel. But Dalton Powell finally turning it on late. 1:16.38. Finding his groove. Catching up to a couple of the drivers here. Just ran the fastest lap of the race. Drivers all around. Little tire heating up there for the 44 of John Ross. Ran a 1:16.69. Both of these drivers a lot faster than Jacob Carter. Issue is that on the off chance that they run a faster lap, they're meeting lap traffic in kind of the worst opportune times. As Dalton Powell tries to work around a couple of the drivers here. There's the 19. Kind of slowing down in front of Jacob Carter. Carter having some blinking issues here. Tires have worn evenly, and Brian Huntley Jr. in front of Dalton Powell there, and John Ross slow him way up. And so all that time that Dalton Powell just made up to try to catch up to John Ross and Jacob Carter, lost it. Trying to get around the teammate of the 54. Jacob Carter through the gears and in through the uphill on turn 3 and 4. We keep the tires off the race line here. The cleaner you keep the tires, the better the driveline's going to be. John Ross, 7.3 back. Brian Huntley Jr. off the surface there. Some drivers just having to keep it nice and smooth, nice and slow. 121.73 his lap, about 4 seconds. The difference to his teammate. 117.09 last time by. John Ross was faster. Dalton Powell lost a 1.5 second difference there on the lap time, so he lost a ton of time. And John Ross is wholeheartedly catching the 54. Ross, a couple of rounds, going to get into the corners. Frank Zingen there. Zingen to the inside. 62 gives it the race line. 44 does a great job of getting a little bit loose there. Does a great job of getting around, but he was not able to get through the throttle. Hit that corner a little bit off pace from what he was used to running before, and he's going to lose about 7/10 of a second here to Jacob Carter. Dalton Powell, the faster of the two drivers right now. If he can just hit the traffic where he needs to, he's going to be just fine to be able to catch up. Dalton Powell in third. If you missed it just the other day, we did a podcast on Friday They got released yesterday. Chop Shop did that for us. And we got in, had a nice conversation with Ryan Wendt, who heads up their Chopping It Up segment. Chop Shop, of course, sponsors Signature Esports, along with a whole bunch of folks. We've got NordVPN. We've got Dark Horizon Fishing. We've got Noma TV, and, of course, Beef Jerky Unlimited. Fine folks out there giving us some great love. Mandarood Racing, we love those guys as well. James Mandarood, one of the best in the biz. 8.3 seconds now. As Ross did carry some speed there. Dalton Powell running 117, sub 117s. Got about 10.3 second difference here, and he is really trying to put some time in. John Ross getting through the uphill sector here on that front straightaway, just trying to push a little bit harder. 9 laps to go. Michael Caffrey works himself back to fourth. Johnny Barker about 3 seconds off of him, trying to get some more time. A lot of lap traffic surrounding Michael Caffrey, and that's been the downfall of this driver today. Lap traffic just kind of meeting him in the wrong spots, and he's changing his race line. Able to make the passes where the Road Series driver would normally be able to make those passes. It's crazy to think that that's everything that you're seeing. 9 laps to go. John Ross, 5.6 seconds. The difference here is Carter losing some ground here. It's the outside lane, rolls the bottom side. Going to be 8 laps to go. If he's trying to save any kind of fuel, or if there's anything he's trying to consider here. Josh Small having an issue here. We'll take a look off the racing surface. It was just a break here. I think he just got into the corner. He's just a little bit slower. I think he went high to give the race line to the drivers. That's some good track awareness for Josh Small. Carter, 4.6 seconds now as John Ross tries to turn it on late. Last lap for John Ross, 1:16.61. Carter, 1:19.63. Jeff Barefoot having an issue. Michael Caffrey runs the fastest lap of the race, 1:16.23. He says, I'm not done. I'm far from done. Anything can happen. 8 laps to go. He is going to push it here. And I don't blame him. 5 seconds the difference now for the battle for the lead. Dalton Powell in third. John Ross, 1:16.61. 3 seconds faster than Jacob Carter. We'll see this time by as Carter gets through turn 12 to the front straightaway. Then have 1:18.71. John Ross. 1:18.58. Dalton Powell 2.5 second difference, has his teammate in front of him. He's run a 1:16.94, 2 seconds faster than the leaders, than the two drivers in front of him, and has the car to do it. Michael Caffrey catching him as well. Each lap, each relative, he's getting faster and faster and faster. Last time by about a second and a half faster than the top two. Only driver that he's not faster than is Dalton Powell in that 51. Here's the last time for your drivers up there. It's best time. Here's your last time. 1:18.706, 1:18.584, 1:16.937. Dalton Powell trying to smoke some laps out of this one. 4 seconds difference here between John Ross and Jacob Carter. Is John Ross playing catch up? I said he had enough time to do it. He do it? That's the question. Dalton Powell just ran a 1:17.84. Caffrey coming around right here, just locking up the tires, hooking up the bottom side. – 1:16.68. So Caffrey faster than everybody. 6 laps to go. I talked about it earlier. Caffrey is faster than everybody out there. The benefit to Caffrey being that fast is he's fast and late, just the same. And he should be up here. I mean, he's inside the top 5. Nothing wrong with that, but he should be up here competing as well. Just had a mistake earlier where he locked it up and just didn't have it. Carter hits the rumble, or hits the edge of the track right there where the rumble strips are. Just a little bit more off kilter there. 54 comes around. It's going to make it 5 laps to go here at Sonoma Raceway. Jacob Carter will be trying to hold off John Ross. John Ross, 4 seconds now, has a little bit of lap traffic in front of him. Carter, last lap, 1:18.27. John Ross, 1:18.35. Dalton Powell, the better, 1:17.23 up into the uphill section. Caffrey comes around as well. His last lap again, 1:16.68. Going to roll a higher lane here. Braking zone working for him. Gets the turn off into the corner. His lap time this time by should be a 1:17 and some change. I'm sorry, 1:21. Oh, he had an off track that I missed, so I apologize about that. Whoa. 68 has the 54 braking hard. John Ross had an issue as well. And Dalton Powell is all over his tuchus. So 5 laps to go. These two having it out. Brandon Garand with the 54 to the inside. 54 is going to take the line away. And man, oh man, Carter probably had a heart attack there. These two drivers, I don't know what happened the lap prior. Not quite sure. They lost 3 seconds to Jacob Carter. It didn't show that they went off track. I'm not sure if they just had to brake in an awkward zone. 4 laps to go here for the drivers as, my bad, as the tires start to eat up and wear out. Caffrey uses a little bit of ground, closing back up. Caffrey's just doing what he can. Johnny Barker, though, how about it? He and Steve Ritter have a little battle going on here as well. 4/10 of a second to gap. Johnny Barker, top 5. Ritter, right where he started, has not left 6th spot other than pit strategy. And is moving forward right now with the 30 there. Oh, has to break into the corner a little differently. Arabia Caton there getting out of the braking zone. Johnny Barker, Steve Ritter sitting 5th and 6th right now. Cawthon Coming through the uphill section is going to be up one. Again, first driver off the lead lap is going to be, second driver off the lead lap is going to be Christopher Spindell. He's trying to track down Frank Zingen, but these drivers doing a bang-up job. John Ross, 119.80 on his last lap. We'll see what he does this time by. These drivers are catching Jacob Carter. With 3 laps to go, you see these drivers are not only catching Jacob Carter, but Carter can just take it easy. If he's got any fuel concerns, he's got a big enough lead now with 3 laps to go. He can just kind of take it easy. John Ross coming into the corner. Dalton Powell there. Campbell and Brandon Garand. They're battling for position, and so are the drivers behind him. Campbell gives it the line. 51 on the corner. 44 has the better exit. 51 in tow. Michael Caffrey in 4. Johnny Barker still with Steve Ritter here. Ritter trying to close back down. Delgado in on pit road. I hear the tires just kind of going insane. There's just one more spot that they can make. Jacob Carter still out front. John Ross in third. Nico Tila goes around. How about Christian Delgado? Coming to pit road, he's going to get a splash here, I do believe. Jacob Carter's going to put him a lap down, so 8 drivers on the lead lap. I thought somebody with 3 would 2-stop this, may have split it into thirds, but nobody did. Tires not that important for any of the drivers. As you see, some of the drivers holding on to everything they have. And they can see that right now the 44 and the 51 are kind of being teased because Jacob Carter, 2 laps to go, is within an eye shot. So there's Jacob Carter, and right back there coming around the 7th turn is the 44 and the 51. But a 4-point-second difference here. If anybody was trying to save fuel, this is a chance. John Ross holds on to second, came on a lap 27. Dalton Powell, the driver that has the better fuel, blinks a little bit here. A little lap change, a little time. Jacob Carter trying to get around the 24 of Kenny Reel. Right behind is John Ross and Dalton Powell. Last turn, white flag lap. 12 more turns for Jacob Carter. He's got to pray he has saved enough fuel. It's not impossible to run the 28 laps. We watched a lot of drivers do it. That's exactly what's happening here. Carter's led all but a couple of laps. And that's a few short turns away. 44 and the 51 down for second. How about Steve Ritter and Johnny Barker still duking it out here for their final lap? Jacob Carter around 7. It's the 8th here in just a moment. Into the nine hill stretch. 54 comes around. Gonna hit this long straightaway. Get into the braking zone for the final 2 turns here for Jacob Carter. Comes around, is going to salvage and sweep. Couple of mistakes made by the drivers, but nothing big. Jacob Carter is going to win Sonoma. And is going to do so without having too big of an issue. 44. Dalton Powell goes to the outside. Powell finishes second. Did John Ross run out of fuel? I think he ran out of fuel. I knew that it was going to be close. The 54 is going to have to get a push from the 24 here. Make sure you stick around with him. Dalton Powell was a lap away from winning this race with fuel being the strategy. John Ross had to jump to pit road. How about Johnny Barker and Steve Ritter here? Still side by side. They've got their race going. Ritter trying to close. Barker's going to get that one. So Barker with a top 5 today. Good battle between he and Steve Ritter here. They did a phenomenal job. Caffrey's going to come around. He's going to get to his next one. Jacob Carter will not have enough fuel to burn it down. It's That's why I wondered if anybody was going to two-pit it here to be able to make sure they had enough fuel. But hey, you know what? Fuel strategy between 18 and 20. I said 18 and 27, I think. 18 and 26, but 28 is going to be there. So a little bit, there it is. He'll be able to burn it down as we'll check on the rest of the field. Still finishing the race. Huntley Jr. on pit road, and the driver's working on it. So that is it. The drivers will go to pit road. Here's your race results here at Sonoma Raceway. Jacob Carter gets the victory. Dalton Powell finishes second as John Ross runs out of gas coming to the start-finish line there. Ross in third. Capri's going to be in fourth. Johnny Barker fifth. Steve Ritter's going to be in sixth. Cawthon, Lamaga, last drivers on the lead lap, having a great race as well. Top tens for both of those drivers. Christian Delgado's going to finish in ninth. Frank Zingen's engine's going to be in 10th. Christopher Pendel, your biggest mover of the race, in 11th. Kenny Rio finishes 12th. Garand in 13th. Farella 14th. Campbell, Cotilla, Small, Lowell, Brian Huntley Jr. and Jeff Barefoot, your top 20 drivers. Down the rest of your race results. Three more: Arabia Caden, Jason Wiley, Aaron Bradford. The tail end of this one. And oh man. Good race. Good race. Everybody comes to pit road. Jacob Carter will be there. I'm going to turn down some volumes here, folks, because the burnouts get really loud. I'm surprised he had enough fuel. I really am. I don't know if maybe John picked away some fuel. I'm not quite sure. I turned it down, folks. Sorry about that. That stuff's loud in my ear, and I know it's loud over there. So Jacob Carter from Coleman, Alabama gets the victory here. I'm going to refresh this one. Maybe he's out of fuel now. But to make sure that the cars were loading up like they're supposed to. And they're not. There they are. Yep, now he's out of fuel. Maybe another lap, and that would have been what it was. Jacob Carter gets the victory here, runs out of gas finally after the burnout. Pretty interesting race that we had here. Mistakes were made, and you had mistakes. The guys behind you had mistakes, but overall, pretty good race. It looked like it was just all about saving fuel there at the end.
Oh yeah, for sure. I looked at my fuel and I thought, oh man, I better start saving. So I seen the guys about 8 seconds. I was like, man, maybe I got time. So I started saving until I got about 3 seconds, and that just put me on the hair. And when I crossed the finish line, I was like, well, I have just enough to do a burnout. So I went over there and did a burnout. Just incredible car. Car felt great until I came out of the pits with new tires. And man, it just felt like someone just put oil all over them and just slicked them up for me. It was terrible. Then finally the tires wore and it got grip again.
Yeah, I was watching throughout that, and that's kind of how Sonoma works. You don't really want to push it the first 5 or 6 laps. You want to let the tires get down to that that 80% mark, and once you get into the 80% mark, it seems like they kind of take off. Air pressures is just, no matter what you do with the air pressures on these cars, it still takes some wear for them to be faster.
Yeah, well, when I came out of the pits, I wasn't even on the gas. I was in like third gear, barely putting, and I let off the gas, and it just slung it. And I was like, oh man, okay, that's how we're gonna do this. So it was pretty weird for it to just do that. It scared me. I was like, well, here we go.
Looked as such, man. Well, congratulations on the victory here. I know that Sonoma can be time for some people to shine. Maybe those who really enjoy the road series racing to get out there and as far as the NASCAR side of things, to get out there and put forth kind of the best effort. So this is normally when we see those who take the time to practice and work the track and get to know how to do it, show up and do a pretty phenomenal job. So good race, man. Congratulations on the victory. Give you shout outs.
Yeah, I appreciate it. 2 weeks to practice. So yeah, it was it was definitely not the scenario, but I want to thank my teammates for being out there, cheering me on, and want to thank all the guys that actually, tried to get out of my way when they could, and sometimes I pushed the limit of them, and just trying to get by them because that 51 was quick. I was just trying to get away from him here, so I just appreciate them getting out of my way, and just all in all, great race, and appreciate you watching. Appreciate everybody watching, and appreciate you putting it on for us.
Always ton of
I
fun.
think I'm gonna go.
Go
I think I'm gonna go get me a beer.
I would. That's a lot of turning left and turning right.
Oh yeah, my arms are sore.
I bet they are. That's the one thing about 55 laps here. If you take the 12 turns, that's math.
Yeah, for sure.
Hold on, let's do the math. So, 12 turns, 660 turns. That's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah. So if this was an official race, that would have gained you 0.33 I rating. So
Dang, I might need to go out on this track and see if I can win.
I like it.
Like I said, this car was great.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
No, a 3.3 safety rating. That would have gave you 3.3 safety rating. If you would have, if this was an official race, you would have gained 104 I rating.
Oh heck yeah.
So that's how that works. At least SDK tells me these things. So that's pretty cool. So all right, brother. Well,
that's
good.
That's our mouth for today.
That would be a lot. That's definitely a lot. And that's a lot of left and a lot of right. Where are we at next week? Let me ask you about next. Oh, we're at Kentucky next week. I've already made that race. I've already scheduled that race. So Kentucky next week. That's a whole different ball game, but it is a flat track, so that might bode well for these cars.
Right. Yeah. Just keeping the nose clear, and hopefully it'll turn.
That's the big key. It's got to turn. All right, man. I'm gonna let you have at it. Congratulations once again.
I appreciate it.
Jacob Carter, your race winner here today in the 54. Let's talk to the P2 finisher Dalton Powell. There at the end, were you surprised? You turned the fastest laps of the race. You and Michael Caffrey both. You just had a couple of hiccups there that kept you from being on the back bumper of Jacob Carter. A little bit of lap traffic, a little bit of everything working against you. But what were you fast? Tell me about this one.
Oh man, the car felt good. I told myself before the race that I wasn't gonna take tires, and I went back on that because I seen how long they were in the pits. Like, man, I should take them. I took them. They felt greased. I came out ahead, and I couldn't get traction in the tires. Couldn't get them to warm up, and then just after that, it was kind of just trailing back, trying to get my rhythm back. Much. Keep on running, keep on turning.
When you came out of turn 12 and you saw John Ross slowing down right there, what'd you think?
I was like, man, did he forget where the finish line was? And then I kind of figured it out because I went a lap. I put in a lap after everybody else, so I knew it was gonna be close on fuel. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, and I was like, I got to get around him and go.
Well, it turned out, a top three night for you. I know you and Caffrey duked it out for a little while. John turned it on there toward the end and had a lot of little battles going on all over the racetrack. And you guys were trying to duke it out there for a hot minute. So P2 finish, Kentucky next week. What's the game plan?
I'm going to get with my team. We're going to start working towards it, figure it out, switch from road mode to back to oval. I had the 2 6-hour race events I did yesterday and this one today, so I've been all filled with road. Time to get back to going in circles again.
I bet you're tired. That's for darn sure.
Oh yeah, brother.
All right, my man. Well, give you shout outs. You got a P2 finish today. That's a good day for you.
All right, I want to shout out the 802 for putting us on, you and your broadcast, and being on my car. Much love to you, brother. And I want to thank Amar. He actually painted my car, and he's on my car as well. And just again, thanks to the Highline guys, all of them.
Always appreciative, Dalton. Much love, man. We'll see you here in a day or two.
All right, take it easy, brother.
No, you too, brother. Dalton Powell finishes in P2. And the guy that he beat up by just a little bit, I'm going to pull him up here. Sorry, John. I know you were in the middle of saying something there, and I'll throw you back down. I'm being rude. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
I'm pulling you up because I thought you were going to win this thing at one point. Tell me about it. P3 finish.
Until I realized that I had not saved enough fuel, I might have agreed with you for a little bit, but I was just kind of, and Johnny just ran such a great race in front of me, and I knew I was faster than him, and I kept waiting, and I was trying to be patient, and he finally made a mistake, and I was able to get in front of him where we could turn some good laps, but so I saw Jacob start to slow down. I think by the time I got in front of Caffrey, I think he was about 8 seconds ahead of me, and then we started to kind of cut it down. I think it was about 4 seconds, and I'm like, he might be saving fuel, So then I went back and I looked at mine, and I'm like, oh no, I'm probably half a lap short. And sure enough, coming out of that last turn, it just died on me. I just kind of coasted to the finish line.
I asked Dalton, I was like, when you saw that out of 12, what'd you think? He was like, at first I was like, did he forget where the finish line was? And then he was like, then I remembered that I came in a lap later so that way I could save. I didn't have to worry about saving fuel. And he was like, hey, it happens. But a good race. It was a good race. We had little battles everywhere and mistakes. Everybody kind of had their own little mistake, and especially a lot of the drivers who made mistakes that were up there inside the top 5, top 6, top 7 made their mistakes on that second half. And the big thing that we heard was that the tires were just very greasy, and you had to wait. They had to wait after the pit stops, right? I had to cough there, to really go. You just got to give it a couple of laps, and then you're able to get going.
Yeah, I didn't take tires, so I stayed on the same set the entire time. But it did because I think that was my plan going into it was don't loop early and then have to come back through the field, because if we can let it separate a little bit, and if I do make an error, get off track, loop it, whatever, I don't have to come back through the field. But if I do it in the first turn, then the whole field has to go by me. So I think my plan was, take it safe, be nice and easy for the first couple of laps, and let the tires come in. And you really had to watch entry, especially in a couple of these, because you could lock the tires up. And I've seen a lot of that happening. I'd be behind a car, and they would lock the tires up. And if you do that 3 or 4 times, it just starts to heat those front tires up, and they just don't want to turn in the middle of the turn. And so I just tried to be nice and easy on the tires, and it actually helped me at the end.
Yeah, fastest laps ran toward I don't know, lap 40, I think is what it was. So that's huge. Lap traffic this is quite often in these leagues that we call, when it comes to road series racing, it's always localized cautions, and you start beating lap traffic close to about 10 laps in. When it comes to having that respect and knowing where you can push and when you can push by somebody, do you just kind of have to take that for granted? Just know that everybody's on just kind of a different line, different schedule.
Yeah, I think so, and especially at this track, because it was very tight. So, and a lot of the turns were sweeping turns. So there was one really good, nice, fast line through some of the S turns that we have. And if you had to go outside of that to try to pass a lap car, which they had the right of way to the right turn, and they would give way, and we had, for the most part, I think most everyone gave way, and they were respectful. But it's hard for even a lap car to get out of that line and allow you in that line. So I think there was a little bit of that, and picking your spots. I mean, I think Dalton and I, if I had clear track, I was able to pull on him a little bit. But when I got in traffic, it seemed like I always caught people at the wrong, going up the hill or in the back S's. But yeah, it's very difficult. There was some chatter on the radio, letting a lot of people by, and I think it's just staying steady and being predictable. If that car in front of you is predictable, I can find a way around.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. That's actually the rules of iRacing, folks. If you've not been out there, the lap car should be predictable, and it's the passing car's responsibility to be the safe one. That's kind of how it goes. John, much love, man. A P3 finish. That was pretty dang good race, and you guys were very much making it interesting. I mean, interesting. You lost or you gained 11 seconds almost, and then run out of fuel on the end.
That about sums it up, sir. Yeah, it does, and it was fun. It was a good race. I thought we were faster on that back segment. I think I found a much smoother line, and I was more comfortable. And I think we might have had something had we been up there in the beginning, but that's just the way that it goes.
Well, and now on top of that, with this dynamic track state that is happening with iRacing, the grip lines actually showed up too.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because with the dynamic changes, you don't really think it's going to, but it does affect the road course. And in oval, I think, and in these road courses, I think some drivers are really adapting well to it, and I think some are struggling. But those drivers that are adapting, you can see later in the races, they're just turning, like we're turning our faster laps at the end of the races. And those top lines and middle lines are coming in the oval tracks. It's really a different feel to iRacing than what it ever has been.
It's the way it should be.
Yes, sir.
The only time that ever happened is when the Car of Tomorrow was there and they first flubbed with it, and it was not that great. But that was a long, long time ago. Yeah, no, this is good, man. John, give you shout outs, man. P3 finish. Looking forward to see what you do at Kentucky.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. First of all, I want to thank you. Really appreciate it and everything that you do. And like I said, I watched the broadcast. I think I said this last week or last time we raced, and I watch the broadcast every week. So really appreciate you. I want to give a shout out to my Wildman teammates and Christian Delgado and Leroy. Leroy wasn't here tonight, but Michael Caffrey, I hate that he spun there. He probably had a podium finish there too, and he spun a little bit late. But want to thank those guys and all the sponsors for the league and 802 Racing and Rob and all those guys. It's a fantastic place to race. We had a rough start, but I think we're really coming into our own now.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right, brother. Well, congratulations. I'll see you next week. It's going to be a good time.
Yep. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
You too. John Ross is the man. He finished his P3. I really did think he was going to win. I did. Even for a moment there. Even for a moment. I thought he was going to win. But he knocks it out of the park. Jacob Carter gets it. Biggest mover of the race is going to be Christopher Pindell. He's up 10 spots. The Aberdeen, Ohio driver. Excuse me. I always get the hiccups toward the end of these things, and then I have to. I always forget that. Whenever I just get into it, I talk and talk and talk and talk, and I get the hiccups at the end of it. So, 2 Cup Series will be back next week. They're going to be at Kentucky, and see if Jacob Carter can back-to-back. His team's been doing well. A lot of drivers who are fast and furious quite often will show back up, and we'll go back to the oval circuit and see if Jacob can actually get back up here and knock it out of the park there too, because he's been fast lately as well, and so is John, so is Dalton Powell's fast. Ryan Huntley Jr., of course, with a couple of wins here, is going to be one of the drivers that you're going to be you got to keep your eye on when it comes to where he finishes as well. Almost getting to the halfway point here with this league, and it's been crazy. It really has been. So, folks, be good, be safe, be kind. Whatever. That's the big thing. Also, like I said before, make sure that you get out and check out all the sponsors for the 802 Cup Series. Make sure you check out my sponsors as well. But also make sure that you go out, check out Chop Shop's podcast that I jumped on, and they're youtube.com/chop_TV. You can check them out. I think it's chop_TV or chopshop_TV. Either way, it's on my it's in my Discord. It's on the Facebook page as well. Go check that out. Check us out on social media. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. Yeah, could be good. All good things. Be good. Be safe. We'll see you in the next one.